When you think of the ocean, you probably imagine calm waves, colorful fish, and maybe a dolphin or two. But lurking in the depths are creatures that look like they belong in a nightmare rather than a coral reef. Crustaceans. Yes, those shell-clad relatives of crabs and lobsters come in bizarre, monstrous, and downright terrifying forms. Today, we're diving deep into the shadows to uncover 10 crustaceans that look like they crawled out of a horror movie. Number 10. Coconut crab. The coconut crab isn't just big, it's colossal. Reaching up to 3 feet across and tipping the scales at nearly 9 pounds, this land-dwelling giant is the largest arthropod on the planet. Its most unsettling feature? Claws with a grip so powerful they can snap open coconuts with ease, a feat no other animal can manage. These claws are rumored to be as strong as a lion's bite, and locals whisper darker tales that coconut crabs have dragged off chickens, small pets, and in legends, even unsuspecting people. Whether or not that's true, one look at their hulking frame is enough to make you believe it. Found across islands in the Indian and Pacific Oceans, coconut crabs spend their nights prowling beaches and even climbing palm trees to snatch coconuts, dropping them to the ground to crack open their prize. By day, they disappear into burrows, only to return under the cover of darkness. Seeing one of these armored climbers scaling a tree in the moonlight feels less like a nature documentary and more like a horror movie. Proof that sometimes the scariest monsters are real. Number 9. Red king crab. The red king crab is the kind of crustacean that feels less like seafood and more like a sea monster. Native to the icy waters of the Bering Sea, these crabs can grow to a staggering 5 feet across and weigh over 20 pounds, making them the largest of their kind. Their spiny, blood-red shells give them a sinister look, like armored beasts rising from the deep. But it's their claws that truly unsettle. Massive, jagged pincers strong enough to crush mollusks, break traps, and leave fishermen nursing wounds. When swarms of them crawl across the seafloor, it looks more like an advancing army than a group of shellfish, their legs clattering against the rocks like skeletal soldiers on the march. Despite their monstrous appearance, they're highly sought after as a delicacy, turning these aquatic brutes into both a prize and a peril. Spotting one in the murky cold feels like coming face to face with a living tank, slow, powerful, and perfectly designed to dominate its frozen world. Number 8. Mud crab. The mud crab may not be as bizarre looking as a giant isopod or as ghostly as a pale crab, but up close, it's a brute that feels like it belongs in a gritty horror flick. Found in mangroves and estuaries across Asia and Australia, these crabs can grow over a foot wide and weigh up to 5 pounds, making them one of the largest crabs inhabiting shallow waters. Their dark, mud-colored shells allow them to vanish into the murky river bottoms, lying in wait like armored ambush predators. What makes them truly intimidating are their claws, huge muscular pincers capable of snapping through mollusk shells, bamboo traps, and yes, even human fingers. Fishermen often tell tales of being bitten by a mud crab and carrying scars for life. Unlike their coconut crab cousins, mud crabs aren't tree climbers. They're lurkers, hiding under roots and in muddy burrows before lunging out with shocking speed. At night when the tide comes in, they emerge in silence, dragging their heavy claws through the shallows like miniature tanks. While they're prized as a delicacy, seeing one up close in the dark water feels less like meeting dinner and more like stumbling onto a creature ready to defend its swampy lair. Number 7. Yeti crab. Discovered only in 2005 near hydrothermal vents in the South Pacific, the Yeti crab looks like something dreamed up for a creature feature. Instead of a hard armored surface like most crabs, it's covered in pale, silky hairs that resemble ghostly fur. Its body is a ghost white hue, and it has no eyes, just empty sockets that make it look unsettlingly blind. Those fuzzy arms aren't just for show, they're laboratories for life. The hairs are coated with colonies of bacteria, which the crab farms by waving its claws in slow, eerie motions through the toxic vent water. Scientists believe the bacteria detoxify the poisonous chemicals spewing from the vents, providing the crab with sustenance in one of the most extreme habitats on Earth. Watching one sway its shaggy claws in the dark depths looks less like feeding behavior and more like some ritual dance. Combined with the fact that it thrives in a pitch-black underworld of boiling, sulfuric plumes, the Yeti crab feels less like a crustacean and more like a hairy phantom guarding the gates of hell. Encountering one isn't just strange. It's like stumbling on an alien life form thriving in a place where nothing should survive. Number 6. Tasmanian giant crab. In the cold, murky waters off southern Australia lurks a crustacean that looks like it was built to terrify, the Tasmanian giant crab. These monsters can weigh over 40 pounds with claws so massive they resemble industrial tools rather than body parts. Their shells are painted in stark reds and whites, giving them the appearance of a creature dipped in blood, something straight out of a maritime horror story. Despite their bulk, they're surprisingly patient predators, lying in wait on the seabed for unsuspecting prey like mollusks and carrion. When they strike, their claws close with enough force to snap shells like brittle glass, and divers unlucky enough to get too close know these claws can leave serious injuries. Adding to their mystique, Tasmanian giant crabs can live for decades, slowly growing into even more monstrous proportions. They're usually found between 200 and 600 feet deep, where the light barely penetrates, so encountering one feels like stumbling upon a hulking relic of the abyss. Whether resting motionless on the seabed or dragging their enormous claws across the sand, these armored beasts look less like crabs and more like underwater enforcers from a horror fantasy. Number 5. American lobster. The American lobster might be a favorite on dinner plates, but up close, it looks more like something out of a horror flick than a fine meal. Growing over 3 feet long and weighing as much as 40 pounds, these armored giants are among the heaviest crustaceans in the ocean. Their shells bristle with ridges and spines, giving them the appearance of underwater juggernauts, while their oversized claws resemble brutal weapons, one built for crushing, the other for slicing. In the dim waters of the Atlantic, their dark, mottled colors only add to their eerie presence, making them look like lurking predators rather than prey. When lobsters fight, the snapping of their claws echoes like bone breaking, a sound that can make even seasoned fishermen uneasy. And while they don't typically target humans, their crushing grip can break fingers with ease. Ancient, armored, and eerily resilient, some living for more than a century, the American lobster feels like a cold-blooded survivor from another age, crawling silently across the ocean floor like a monster waiting for its cue. Number 4. Mantis shrimp. The mantis shrimp might look dazzling with its neon armor of reds, greens, and blues, but beneath that dazzling shell hides one of the ocean's most lethal assassins. Known as thumb splitters, these creatures pack a punch so fast and powerful it's been compared to the force of a .22 caliber bullet. With specialized club-like appendages, mantis shrimp can shatter aquarium glass, split crabs in half, and stun fish before they even realize what hit them. Scientists have clocked their strikes at speeds up to 50 miles per hour, accelerated by a spring-loaded mechanism more advanced than anything engineers have built. Their eyes are just as terrifying. Each stalk can move independently, and they can see ultraviolet and polarized light, detecting details invisible to humans. That means when a mantis shrimp locks onto its target, escape is nearly impossible. Despite their rainbow brilliance, they are merciless hunters, lurking in burrows and ambushing prey with brutal efficiency. Watching one strike is like witnessing nature's perfect weapon in action. Beautiful, yes, but terrifying in its sheer destructive power. If a horror movie needed a flashy yet deadly villain, the mantis shrimp would walk straight out of the sea and steal the role. Number 3. Pistol shrimp. Don't let its small size fool you. The pistol shrimp is one of the ocean's deadliest little nightmares. Barely a few inches long, this unassuming crustacean wields a single oversized claw with terrifying precision. But instead of pinching, it snaps shut so violently it creates a bubble that implodes with the force of a gunshot. The shockwave stuns or kills prey instantly, while the flash of light and burst of heat can reach nearly the temperature of the sun's surface. To an unsuspecting fish, it's less an attack and more an ambush from a living weapon. What makes it even more unsettling is the silence before the strike. Then, in an instant, the water erupts with invisible violence. Entire colonies of pistol shrimp can fill shallow reefs with constant crackling, like static from some alien machinery. Watching one hunt feels uncanny, as though a tiny creature has mastered a power far too destructive for its size. It's proof that in the ocean, even the smallest monsters can wield terrifying abilities. Number 2. Vampire crab. With a name like vampire crab, you'd expect something sinister, and these little crustaceans don't disappoint. Native to freshwater streams and forests in Southeast Asia, vampire crabs are small, only about 2 inches across, but their looks pack a chilling punch. Their shells are a deep, shadowy purple or black, and their piercing yellow eyes glow like embers in the dark. The effect is unsettling, as though dozens of tiny demons are staring back at you from the rocks. Unlike other crabs that scuttle around openly, vampire crabs are nocturnal, slipping out at night to forage. Watching them crawl across damp rocks under moonlight feels like witnessing a miniature horror film with glowing-eyed creatures plotting in silence. Despite their eerie appearance, they're harmless and even popular in the aquarium trade, where their creepy cool factor makes them a favorite among collectors. But the name adds to their mystique. Paired with their ghostly stare, it sparks images of gothic monsters lurking in the shadows. One vampire crab might look quirky, but imagine a colony of them glowing from the stream bed at night. It's the kind of unsettling scene that blurs the line between nature documentary and horror movie. Number 1. Japanese spider crab. The Japanese spider crab is the kind of creature that makes you question whether evolution was playing a prank. With legs stretching up to 12 feet from tip to tip, it's the largest arthropod in the world, resembling a monstrous spider that decided to live underwater. Found in the cold depths off Japan, these crabs crawl across the seafloor like skeletal giants, their long, spindly limbs moving with an eerie slowness. Their bodies are small compared to their legs, giving them a grotesque, exaggerated silhouette that looks more like a horror prop than a living animal. Despite their terrifying appearance, they aren't ferocious hunters. They feed mostly on algae and slow-moving shellfish. Still, their sheer size and alien movements are enough to unsettle any diver who crosses paths with them. To make matters creepier, Japanese spider crabs can live up to 100 years, which means some of these towering monsters have been lurking in the depths longer than many human lifetimes. Whether they're crawling out of the darkness or looming in the glow of a submersible's lights, these crabs are the closest thing the ocean has with giant skeletons patrolling the abyss. Crustaceans prove that nature has its own imagination for horror. These creatures remind us that the ocean isn't just home to beauty, it's also full of unsettling designs that test our courage. Next time you walk along the shore or peer into an aquarium, remember, behind those shells and claws might be a creature that looks like it was cast for the next monster film. Reality, it turns out, doesn't need special effects. It already made these chilling crustaceans.